Happy Friday. Let's see. Oh, we still have a minute to go. Happy Friday to you all. Let's see what's happening here. Happy Friday. I hope you're doing well. Let's see. Happy Friday. Happy Friday to you all. I hope you're doing well. Facebook and YouTube. Please share so that others will join. Happy Friday to you all. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're all doing good. Facebook and YouTube. I hope you're doing well. Happy Friday. Yep. Happy Friday to you all. Please join, share, so that others would join. So I'm sharing to my personal Facebook. So please share so that others will join as well. I'll hop on TikTok in a minute. I hope you're doing very well. How has the week been? I hope you're well. Let's see. Please share. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. It's always a joy to be here. I just love Fridays. I always look forward to Fridays. So please join me. Please share so that others will join. How are we doing? Please share. Please share so that others will join. I hope you're doing well. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Happy Friday to you all. How are we doing? Happy Friday. Facebook, are we good? If you can hear me, if you can see me, please let me know so I don't feel all alone. I hope you're doing well. Okay, I just shared to my personal Facebook. So please share so that others will join as well. I hope you're doing well. I am going on TikTok now before my TikTokers get upset, because that's where the real fun is actually. TikTok is where everything happens. So I hope you're doing well. Happy Friday. How has the week been for you? I've had a long week. I almost always have a long week. I guess that's a time for immigration. That's just what is happening. I'm still in the office. I hope you're doing well. How are we doing? Please feel free to use the comment session or feature so that I know how you're doing. Please share so that others will join. We're discussing visa and then in travel issues and everything international students. I know there's so much going on in the world of immigration. It looks like there's always something happening. And so we just have to talk about it. How are we doing? How are we? Facebook, can you hear me? Can you see me? Please share so that others will join. How has the week been for you? How are you really truly feeling? It's not even a cliche. I really want to know how you're doing, how the week has been for you. We are doing well. I don't know how immigration attorneys are doing it this time, but we just keep going. We are getting the approvals for our clients. We are staying sane. I have said to my team, and I'm sure if you have followed me for a while, you have heard me say that my team and I are not going to join the bandwagon of attorneys who are going to instill fear without letting you know what is going to happen, right? Without informing you, without empowering you with the necessary information and knowledge that you need. And so anytime I am here, I make sure that in as much as I'm informing you on what is happening, I'm also empowering you with the required legal knowledge that you need to stay abreast with everything that is happening. And if you find yourself, traveling, if you find yourself anywhere, if you get caught at the right place at the wrong time, and then an officer comes to you, try to detain you, you know what to say, right? And you also know that it's a very good time if you are a green card holder, it's a very good time to work on getting your citizenship. If you if you are not a green card holder, it's a very good time to check if an employer can sponsor you, if you can sponsor yourself through the EB1 or the EB2 NIW, and put yourself on the dating market. I mean, make sure that you put yourself on the dating market and you're able to, as it were, prove that your marriage is bona fide. And so I have determined, my team and I have said to them that, listen, we're not going to join the other attorneys who are breaking the news and instilling so much fear without empowering you. And so Friday time is knowledge time. We're going to tell you what is happening, but we're also going to provide you with the legal guidance and legal knowledge that you need in times like this. And so that's why we come here on Friday, and also to update you on all the good things happening in immigration, and especially here at AB Legal Consult. I mean, there's so much happening, but we're getting the approvals for our clients. This week we had one EB1 approval, one NIW approval. We have clients that we petition VAWA for, whose work authorization have been received, biometrics are being scheduled, and they are moving at a fast pace. And so if you have followed us for a while, I keep saying that I'm not sure what we are doing right. I'm not sure what is happening. I'm not sure why our story is different from other firm, but really, truly, something good is happening here because we are getting the work done. We are getting the approval. So we are not going to join the others, that are instilling the fear and not empowering you with the required legal knowledge that you need, especially within these times. And so, listen, that's why we're coming on Friday. So please share so that others will join, because we're going to have fun here today. We're going to be discussing everything visa, everything travel. And I know there's so much happening as far as international students are concerned. What is the underlying or the bedrock? What is really happening? Why are they being detained? As of yesterday, the Secretary of State said that, and I see TikTok is where the vibe is happening. I see questions coming in already. That is amazing. But I'll take the questions later. Okay, I'll try as much as I can. There are a few things that we need to cover today, and I'll try and take a few questions, or as many as I can. Let me put it that way. So please share so that others will join, because this is where the immigration party is happening. We are not going to instill fear. I mean, we're going to keep you informed. We're going to empower you with the legal knowledge. What you need to know in times like this, we are going to tell you that, and we are not just going to instill fear, okay? We are going to give you hope. We are going to let you know that, listen, in spite of everything happening, there are other pathways there, So yeah, please share so that others will join. And I would love to know where you're watching me from. I love to know where my audience are. So please share so that others will join and then learn a thing or two. I know you will definitely leave here empowered with one thing or two. And so please share. Let me know how your week has been. My week has been amazing. It's just, I was actually in court today. I've been in court twice this week, Monday and then today. Long week, actually. But it's always a pleasure to serve the immigrants community, and so we will do everything we can possible, most importantly legal, to make sure that our clients are safe, our clients are empowered, our clients are able to remain here legally. And so this is where the party is happening. So please share so that others will join. I hope you're doing well. Let me know where you're watching me from. Listen, Facebook and YouTube are bougie people. They don't, well, someone just gave me a love emoji to make me know that they're actually going to be a bit interactive today, which is fine. So please share so that others will join. I would love to know where you're watching me from. I am still in the office here in Springfield, Virginia, 55524 Hempstead Way. Please don't walk in now. Right after the live stream, I'm going home. So please don't walk in now. By all means, walk in on Monday through to Friday. But after this live stream, I'm going home. So please don't walk in. I've seen that is after the live stream that phone calls come through, and then it's like someone has hit go. So you see lots of emails coming through, and phone calls are coming through. But after this live stream, I want to go home because it's Friday. So I have to go home. So please don't walk in, okay? Let me know where you're watching me from. I am still here in the office in Virginia, but please let me know where you're watching me from. I'm not going to read any question now. TikTok. I know you are my people, and I'm also your people or your person. No, I am your person and you are my people. But I'll take the questions later. I'll take it much later. There are a few things we need to cover. There's so much happening in the world of immigration. So please, okay, so let me know where you're watching me from. I see New York. Someone says Germany. That's nice. Someone says Atlanta, my home. Uh, oh, Kansas City. Hey, that's nice. Yeah, Contour, thank you for joining. See, Ya is the only one who has commented on Facebook. As for Facebook and YouTube, Ya is actually on YouTube. That's nice. Okay, so someone says, Ghana, thank you for staying up to watch me. Thank you. Missouri, okay. Boston, Massachusetts, fantastic. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Someone says, hi there, I have a question. I'll answer your question later. I promise you I will. I'll do my best, actually. Someone says they're watching from Germany. Someone says Canada. Thank you. New York, Virginia. Listen, I am here in Virginia. Please stop by and say hi to me. Someone says California, another Virginia, Canada, California, London. Nice. Thank you. Thank you. Another person says Virginia too. Okay, that's amazing. But how are you doing? Okay, there's another Germany. There's New York. Listen, I have lived in New York before. There's Wisconsin. Someone says the Bronx. I mean, if you live in New York and you never live in the Bronx, did you even live in New York? I lived in the Bronx for a while. Someone says Oregon. Thank you. Massachusetts. Thank you. I lived, you know, the Grand Concourse on the Bronx. That's where everything happens in New York. I lived in New York for a while. And listen, I am the typical immigrant. Okay. So the work that I do, if you have followed me for a while, I am extremely passionate about it. The typical immigrant is the one that in 1 month they're living in state A. The following week they're in state B, trying to figure things out. When you are in state C and then someone gives you a tip that there's an employer or there's an organization or institution, especially the warehouses, right? And then they are paying just $1 more. Sometimes it's just a cent more. Then you quickly pack there. That's the typical immigrant story. And I have lived it. I have lived it. So listen, the work that I do, I'm extremely passionate about it. I have always said that one day I'm going to tell my immigration story. And I think most of you would really understand why I am doing what I do and why I am seated here. Because listen, immigrants brave. When I say immigrants are brave, I have lived that experience. I actually have the lived experience. I know what it means to be an immigrant, to pack your life from your country, your home country, and then say, I want a better life in a different country. Listen, it takes a lot of bravery to do that. And so I believe immigrants are brave. Okay. Immigrants are brave. Okay, how does that take? Listen, I'm not taking questions now. I've seen some interesting questions coming in, but remember, we are still sharing for others to join because we are going to empower ourselves with knowledge. And so it's important that you share. Someone says, please take questions. I will take questions. But listen, the information you're going to get from me today is just for general knowledge. Okay, nothing I say here is it's legal advice. Nothing I say here is legal advice. If you want legal advice, please give my office a call at 703-705-9905. Not today, but between Monday and Friday. Monday and Friday, 8:30 to 6 o'clock. Okay. After that, like, don't call right now and don't call after this live stream because I want to go home. And so nothing I say here is legal advice. It's for general knowledge only. Okay. It's just for general knowledge. If you need legal advice, please give my office a call. Between Monday and Friday, 8:30 to 6 p.m., and schedule a consultation so that I can give you legal advice. So the questions you ask here are so brief. They may not necessarily capture the full story of your journey or your pursuit. And so I won't I'll be doing you a great disservice if I give you legal advice based on your one sentence question. I need to understand your immigration story. I need to understand how you got here. There's so many things, so many questions I would have to ask to be able to give you legal advice. And so please, in as much as I will attempt to answer some questions, it's not legal advice. If you need legal advice, our numbers are there. You can also shoot me an email and you're going to receive a calendar to book an appointment. Okay, that is how I can give you legal advice. So today we'll be discussing, I'm going to give you some updates, just talk to you about the work that we do, the approvals we're getting for our clients, and then we're going to be discussing visa and travel chaos. What are the things you need to know? As of yesterday, the Secretary of State has said that they have actually detained about 300 international students. Why are they doing that? What is the threshold? What is going on? Have they done anything wrong? Are they just being targeted for no reason? Is it because President Trump is so bad that he's targeting people for no reason? Listen, I totally understand that the fundamental reason why these international students are being detained raises lots of civil rights issues. And I know that legal organizations and then other attorneys, civil rights attorneys are suing the government. But what I have always said is there's always a bedrock. There's always a fundamental reason why people are being detained, people are being arrested, and people are being deported. Okay. Just yesterday, I saw an attorney send an email and even post on LinkedIn that her client was detained in the Miami International Airport. I want you to listen carefully. So this attorney was extremely upset because of the choices of her words on LinkedIn and also on the American Lawyers Immigration Association email thread, DC branch, DC and Missouri email thread. And the attorney is basically, she was so upset that her client had been detained in the Miami International Airport for no reason. And in that same write-up, she said that the client, who is a green card holder, had left the United States for 2 years without a re-entry permit. So let's think about this for a second. We all know that legally you cannot be out of the country for, if you're a green card holder, it's 1 year, right? That's what the law says. But really, if you stay more than 6 months, it's enough for them to terminate your green card. And by them, I mean the CBP. So here is an attorney who is basically saying that my client, a green card holder, has lived abroad. She traveled abroad for 2 years, and she's upset that her client has been detained. But we all know that as a green card holder, you cannot be outside of the United States for a certain period of time. And this client didn't even have a re-entry permit. So this is what I have always said, that I think the scrutiny level is heightened now. I totally understand that. But things like the CBP, section electronics, that is the law. That is what they do. Except that, with President Trump being in the Oval Office, the scrutiny level is high. That's just what it is. And I was talking to someone just before I came into the live stream session, and I said it's very difficult to say it as is when almost 90% of the people are, driving a certain narrative. But the law is clear. The law is clear. So the international, we're going to get into it. So please share one last time before we jump into it. And I'll still love to know where people are watching me from. Oh, someone is watching me from Turkey. That's nice. I didn't know someone would watch me from Turkey. Wisconsin, thank you. There's another New York. I probably have to be a New York mayor at this point because I have lots of New Yorkers here. Sweden, thank you. Someone is saying, please answer. There's another Virginia, California, hey, Canada, California, London, Ghana, Nigeria. I think I'm gradually falling in love with Nigerians. I have lots of Nigerian clients, especially for the EB1 and then the EB2 NIW. Wow, my Ghanaian brilliant people, and then those that have risen so high in their career that you're in the top 3 or top 5% in your organization. Where are you? Because it's only Nigerians. I have lots of Nigerian clients that are filing for the EB1. What's happening to my Ghanaians? Please, you have to. Okay, someone is giving me compliments. I'm not going to read that, but thank you for your compliments. I do appreciate that a lot. Okay, there's another Wisconsin, Massachusetts, Boston. Okay. Oh, Atlanta, my home. Tennessee. Okay, listen, thank you so much for joining. So let's dive. Atlanta. Listen, my mom is here. Everybody should say hi to my mom, please. I'm not going to mention my mom's name, but please say hello to my mom. She's done an amazing job. She's my number one fan, actually. She supports everything that I do. Oh, that's New Jersey, Jamaica. Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you so much. Someone says Nigeria is huge in the United States. I know, but there are Ghanaians here as well. Yeah. Someone says, hi, mom. I want you all to say hello to my mom. My mom is here supporting me. She's my number one supporter. She just keeps me going. Okay, I know Nigeria is huge here, but I mean, there are Ghanaians here as well who have risen to the top of their career. So listen, my Ghanaians, please, EB1 and the EB2 NIW, I want you to put yourself there. Okay. Missouri, fantastic. Listen, I'll tell you my Missouri story one day. Okay. All right. So again, thank you for joining. My name is Akosia Banahini. I am the attorney here at AB Legal Consult. We do predominantly immigration work, but we do divorce, business law as well, business compliance. But listen, immigration has picked up really well. And in terms of immigration, we do the employment-based EB1, EB2. I'm sure you all know that if you're filing the regular EB2 and then the EB3, EB4, you need an employer. And so we won't be able to help you because we don't do recruiting here. We don't have businesses that are recruiting that we actually do recruit for. But then if you have a sponsor who wants you to come with your attorney, by all means, we can assist you. We also do PEM labor certification. But with the EB1 and then the EB2 national interest waiver, we do that here. We get approvals. This week, we had one approval for the EB1, which will be posted on our social media pages. And then we had another NIW approval. Amazing stuff. We got 3 clients, 2 of them, VAWA petition. They got the work authorization approved. It has been mailed in here to our office, and then a green card holder's green card got approved as well. So listen, I know there's so much happening in immigration, but we're getting the work done. We're helping our clients. We're getting them the approval. So please, 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 it's a good time to make sure that you secure yourself as far as becoming a legal permanent resident is concerned. And there are different pathways to do that, okay? I know that it looks like marriage-based is popular, which is fine. If you can prove that your marriage is bona fide, I have told my clients, I don't know how you met your spouse. I don't want to know how you met your spouse. If you can prove that your marriage is bona fide, and immigration is evidence-based, evidence. Long before an officer invites you to attend an interview, they're looking at the pieces of evidence you submit. And it doesn't matter the quantity or the number, like it does the quality of evidence that you submit to the USCIS. So you really want to be mindful and be guarded. Recently, someone, a prospective client that, a prospective client that is about to retain us, I know he's going to retain us, had a consultation with me, and let me tell you his problem. His issue was that when he was filing for his marriage-based green card, he and his spouse and the attorney they retained at the time submitted a joint bank statement, so a joint bank record, that had just 3 transactions. You don't get to do that. When you're submitting a statement to a joint bank statement to the USCIS to show that your funds are together, you commingle your funds. You want to make sure that there's active transaction. And I tell my clients that I'm not giving this to the USCIS. And I have clients that will literally fight me. I remember a client telling me that I think I know everything. And then we got him the approval and he said, "Oh, indeed, you know everything." He said, you act like you know everything. This is the statement that we have. And we want you to send it to the USCIS, but you're acting like you know everything. And I said, yes, I know everything. And so I'm not sending this to the USCIS. And then another client of mine who has a property and then her husband also has a property. And I said to the client that, listen, I'm not sending I'm not taking this particular evidence to the USCIS. And she challenged me. And then I think that's fine. There are clients like that. I have lots of questions. I have lots of opinion and I challenge people. So when people challenge me, that's fine. I just take them with a grain of salt. I think it comes with a terrain that I find myself. And I said, I'm not sending this to the USCIS. I have to represent your best interest. And representing your best interest means that I have to critically assess the evidence you've given me to submit to the USCIS. Now, if this evidence you've given me, and then it's not going to benefit you, I'm not representing your best interest, so I'm not going to submit it to the USCIS. And clients fight me all the time, but they get to understand in the long run, after they get the approval. Recently, a client brought me $100, and I'm like, what is it for? She said, I just want to say thank you. And so you have to trust your attorney that your attorney is going to do a great job. So long before you're invited to attend an interview, your evidence is going to speak for you. So you want to make sure that you're submitting to the USCIS credible evidence, relevant evidence. I cannot overstate this or emphasize this enough. Credible and relevant evidence, extremely important. So there's a marriage-based, there's employment-based, there's asylum, different pathways. Okay, so it's a good time to make sure that you legalize your stay in the United States because we are in crucial times. Okay, all right, so let's talk about visa and travel chaos in what you need to know. So I know that there's this renewed sense of attention to the growing scrutiny as far as electronic devices are concerned, but CBP. Okay, so let me put it this way. After you get a visa or you are issued a visa, it does not automatically mean that you're going to be admitted to the United States. I'm sure at this point we all know that. So there are different phases. Classic example, your parents file for you here or your spouse files for you here. And then USCIS approves it. It goes to the National Visa Center. The National Visa Center is going to process it for you to attend an interview to get a visa. So it's either the USCIS is going to grant it or deny it. So let's say the USCIS grants the approval. They approve it. And then you're ready to move to phase 2, National Visa Center. And then the National Visa Center says, listen, you are documentarily qualified. And so we're going to schedule an appointment for you to attend your interview to get a visa. And then you attend your interview and you are not able to articulate yourself. You're not able to answer the basic questions that are asked. At this point, you don't even get a visa. So there are different agencies, different processes, different phases, okay? But let's say you're able to articulate yourself. You answer your questions really well, brilliantly. And so you are issued a visa. It still does not guarantee that you're going to enter the United States. It is not automatic that once I have received a visa, United States, here I come. No, not until you are admitted. And CBP has the final say. CBP has the final say. And long before they allow you, they are empowered. The law empowers them to check or to search. You don't have a reasonable expectation of privacy at the airport. You don't. And so you can be subject to search there. And so recently there's this popular case about the Brown University professor who had visa to come and teach in a Brown University. He attended a funeral, and then upon entry, this professor was not allowed to enter. This professor was not allowed to enter. Okay, I have to mute the phone for a second. Okay, sorry about that. This professor was not allowed to enter. The underlying factor is that he attended the funeral of, they saw pictures in his phone. Because again, like I said, CBP is authorized, they are empowered to check these things. And so if you hold extreme views, and I think I said this last week, I have lots of views, but I share them with my mom and my mom only. I don't post my views on social media, not all the time. There are times it becomes necessary. If I'm invited to give a speech or to talk, you know, in a webinar or a seminar or something, I would express those. I remember that sometime in January, I was invited to speak to a group of people, and I was asked about my opinion about Trump administration, because they had researched and they saw that I had done some work during his first term. At the time, I was in the federal space, in the office of the president. And so they asked me a question, and my initial reaction was, I don't want to answer this question. But I did. And I did it in a creative way, without withholding anything, any information. Of course, you would know what to say and what not to say. But all I'm trying to say is that not all your opinions must make its way to social media. So what President Trump and his team, and by his team, the Secretary of State, and then they are using AI to scan, to check a few things. And that's how come people's devices are actually subject to search. And so you don't get to say that you are supporting, or the things that you do pose a threat to the United States. And then CBP officer says that, you know, we are empowered under the law. INA section 212A3B basically says that a foreign national who is determined to be associated with endorsing or promoting terrorist activity or extreme ideologies may be found inadmissible. That is the law. That is what the law says. And so if your post on social media, your communication on social media, pictures, shows that you are actually promoting or endorsing any terrorist activity, or you have an extreme ideology or opinion, the law, that is the law, and it has always been there. It wasn't President Trump just didn't become president and then authorize the CBP to do, or empower the CBP to do what you're doing. The law it is clear. It is there. Now, like I said, I understand that some of the detentions, you know, and then the revocation of visa, it raises civil rights issues. I totally understand that. I absolutely do. Absolutely understand. But the fact that it raises those concerns does not mean that CBP cannot do their work. Sadly. And so President Trump didn't just come to power. And what I'm saying does not mean that I support or I voted for President Trump. I'm not here to discuss I'm not here to discuss my opinion as far as who I support and who I do not. But I'm just saying that his coming into the Oval Office did not automatically mandate the CBP to do what they do. That's all I am saying. And so the law is there. I want you to Google INA section 212A3B and then read it for yourself. If you're a foreign national, and then it's determined that you're associated with or endorsing or promoting terrorist activity, or you hold extreme ideologies, you may be found inadmissible. That's the law. And so a valid visa does not automatically guarantee that you would enter the United States. In fact, the final decision rests with the CBP. And the CBP has a broad authority to inspect, to search. And so when they do, it's not because President Trump just came to power. And there are so many ways. It can be that you're just picked up. But then, like I said, I read an article just before coming in, and they're using AI to scan and search. And so your opinions, by all means, please share. I share my opinions with my mom. I talk to my mom every day. I share my opinions with my mom. My mom is not social media, so I'm not posting it on social media. So it's extremely important that you check those things. Okay, it's extremely important. And because it's the law, they are justified to search. And so when they do search, how then do you say that? I don't know. So your views and your opinions, while they are great, just know how, be very creative in sharing those. It's extremely important. Okay. Now you are at the airport and then you are asked questions. Okay. As far as answering questions are concerned. So non-citizen visa holders may be denied entry because they refuse to answer questions. So while you are legally not mandated to answer a question, your refusal to answer the question can lead to you being denied entry. So then again, discretionary, you have to use your discretion. You must use your discretion. So you're a visa holder, you've been issued a visa, thank God. And then you're questioned. It's entirely up to you. Because I said, as a non-citizen visa holder, you may be denied entry if you refuse to answer a question. You may. There's an officer who would ask a question and you may refuse to answer the question and the officer will let you in anyway. But then another officer would not let you in. So while you're legally not mandated to answer any question, your refusal could lead to the denial of your entry. So use your discretion. In terms of questions about religion or political questions, you may decline to answer that. Again, this can lead to additional scrutiny and delays and maybe your denial of entry. So a friend of mine says that we should go with the flow. It all depends. Really, it depends. Extended questioning. Okay, let's talk about extended questioning. So while CBP asserts that travelers do not have the right to legal counsel at the airport, having an attorney's contact is priceless at this point. I have clients that have my business cell phone number. And so when I'm in the office, when I'm not in the office and they call the office phone, they won't get me. I have clients that travel over the weekend and I'm not here in the office over the weekend, but then they have my business cell phone number. And so they'll give me a call. And really, for my clients that travel, I have their dates. I know when they're traveling. And so with everything going on, CBP would assert that, oh, you don't have right to legal counsel. It's extremely important. You can tell them that you need to speak to your attorney. So it's extremely important that you have the contact of an attorney. It's priceless at this point. So it's something you want to consider. Okay, if you haven't retained an attorney, but you have some form of arrangement with the attorney that, listen, I'm traveling, let the attorney bill you. Let your attorney bill you. I mean, for my clients that have my cell phone number, they're already my clients. I'm not billing them because they're already my clients. But it's extremely important that with everything going on, you have the contact of an attorney. It's advisable. Providing passwords. What do we need to know about providing passwords? So non-citizen visa holders risk denial of entry if they refuse to share passwords to electronic devices. Again, discretionary, right? You can choose to say, I'm not going to share my password with you if you're asked. But you can risk being denied entry. And I don't know what to say about that. So if you have worked so hard to get a visa and then you get here and CBP says, I'm not going to let you enter just because you won't give them access to your password or to your gadgets, that's entirely up to you. And so that's what I'm telling my clients, that make sure that you delete some of the apps, your social media accounts. There are certain conversations or certain posts that we make on social media. Take them down before you travel. Just take them down. Minimize that. Okay. So you can choose not to give your passwords out, but you want to be guarded. So the story I was telling you before we actually started about the immigration attorney who says that her client was detained at the Miami International Airport, a green card holder who has lived abroad for 2 years and is detained, and her attorney is upset. And this client didn't apply for re-entry and was detained. So even before President Trump came to power, if you are a green card holder and you lived abroad, you left the United States and lived abroad for 2 years without applying for re-entry, you're basically saying that you have abandoned your residency. And so the law has not changed. The law has not changed. So if you're upset that you have abandoned, let me not use abandoned, but you have left the country for 2 years as a green card holder, and then you come back and CBP says, no, we are not going to let you enter. We're going to detain you and question you. I don't think you should be upset. I don't think so. Because when you get a green card, when you're a legal permanent resident, this is your country of residence. So if you're going to be here, if you're going to be out of your country of residence for a long time, like the 2 years example that I'm giving you, you need to apply for a re-entry permit. You must apply for a re-entry permit so that you can come back in. And for my clients that I've been traveling for a month, I have a client who has to attend her grandmother's funeral, and she has to be away for a month. That's what I said to him. I said to her that carry your bank records with you, carry your lease agreements with you. I want you to carry certain essential documents with you to show that this is your country of residence. She's going to be away for just 1 month. And it's just because of the timing, the times that we find ourselves. So don't travel unless it's absolutely necessary that you do. I say it all the time that I don't want any of my clients to be the next viral story. I don't want any of my clients. So I advise them, and hopefully, so far they've all listened. So hopefully they keep listening. Hopefully they do. I advise them. I don't want you to be the next viral story. And so I hope you listen. I hope you speak to your attorneys. I hope you retain a very good attorney for the times that we find ourselves. So I also want us to talk about the international students. Lots of international students, as of yesterday, the Secretary of State said that they have revoked about 300 international students' visas, which is unfortunate. I can't understand. But when I spent time to read and research, there was an underlying factor. And these underlying factors, or one factor that cut through everything that I have read, it it raises civil rights concerns. Absolutely, it does. It raises civil rights challenges, civil rights concerns. And I know that attorneys are suing, organizations are suing, which is great. I'm all up for that. But with the trend, it looks like some of the activities pose threats to national security. And then again, the ideologies. I'm not saying it's good. So please don't quote me that I said it's good. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that there's always an underlying factor. Someone is asking me why she didn't meet me earlier. Oh, Sister Abba, I'm here. You didn't look for me. That's the problem. You would have found me earlier, but it's fine. So I want us to talk about the Tufts University student who was taken into custody on March 25th, just about 2 days ago. So from my research, she was detained because of her activities in support of Hamas. It wasn't as though, and these are all allegations, right? And she has not been deported. She has only been detained because of her activities. And so they're going to run their checks. They're going to investigate. And of course, they would, she'll make a case before her judge before she's removed. There are other international students who actually self-deport using the CBP app. So with all the viral stories, there's always an underlying factor, which raises severe civil rights concerns. But all I'm saying is that there's always an underlying factor. I don't know how CBP will come for me if I'm not sharing my extreme ideologies and opinions. I am not, if I protest and they come for me, that can be an underlying factor, but that's a civil rights issue. And those are the concerns that I'm saying, that the people they are detaining based on their activities, as you know, they're civil rights concerns, civil rights issues, which they are being sued, which is great. I'm all up for it because President Trump is doing the most. But all I'm saying is that there's always an underlying factor. And so it's not that you are home, recently, there was another story that was posted on LinkedIn by another attorney. And when I read it, I don't understand why people get upset. Because if you have a removal order, meaning that the USCIS has said, let's say they've terminated your green card and you have a removal order, why do you travel? There's an underlying situation or condition that has not been fully resolved. And so if you're detained, if you travel and you're detained and you get upset and your story goes viral, oftentimes they don't tell you what the real issue is. And that can be problematic, actually. We cannot, the one-sided narrative and story. So and I am against this, when you see stories on TikTok, especially Facebook, but it's mostly on TikTok, you really want to be analytical, analyze the story, reason through the story. When we started this, I said that I have lived in New York before. I know the typical immigrants, right? I'm the typical immigrant I have lived in many states. So when I lived in New York, I know JFK very well. There was a viral story, and then this man is basically saying that he's been questioned, he has been detained, but where the man was standing, he was actually out of the airport. And that also went viral. That story also, it was everywhere. And so I watched someone, it was a client that I've told my clients that when you see your TikTok videos, don't send them to me. I've told my clients, they all know. Don't send me those videos. And those that will still send, I don't even open it. I don't even watch it. I truly understand the times we find ourselves. Unprecedented times. I totally understand. But what I've always said is that President Trump told us exactly what he was going to do, and we voted for him, and he's doing them. One major concern that I have, that if I had the opportunity, I would ask President Trump, is that he said he was going to give international students green card with their diploma. That has not happened yet. So that's something, that's one question. Sometimes I think I want to tweet at him or just make a post and tag him or something like that. But I may be the next viral story if I do. But I want you to be very analytical and reason through the viral stories that you see, the videos that you see. Someone says I should please do. I will. I think I will do that. International students deserve green card. So I will do that. Thank you for pumping me up. But when you see these stories, don't sensationalize them. There's always an underlying factor. I saw one, like the story I was talking about. This man was outside JFK. I know JFK very well. This man was outside JFK, yet he said he has been detained. And the story went viral. He said, oh, when I came in, they asked me this, they asked me that, and I'm being detained, but he was outside. He was outside. And if you watch the video carefully, his bags were with him. He had left the airport. He was outside of the airport, but yet the man says he has been detained. There's another story that went viral that I saw. A client sent it to me. This woman says she's from Jamaica, and she has multiple businesses. Someone says he's a liar. It's true. This lady said that she's from Jamaica. She's a green card holder, and she's been in and out of the United States severally. Because of her business, she's in and out most of the time. And her green card has been revoked. So in that particular video, that the first video that I watched, she said she's been in and out severally. And then I think when she posted the video, someone asked her, when you say severally, what does that mean? And another question, someone else asked another question, that how long did you stay in those several times that you traveled? So listen, so she answered, in actually 4 of her trips, she lived abroad for 7 months. In 6 of her trips, she lived in Jamaica for a year and a half. And then in about 2 or 3 of them, she was there for another 7, or one was 7, and then the other was like 8 months or so. Let's think about this for a second. If you live abroad, you are a permanent legal resident, and then you're in and out, in and out, in and out, and then you're able to stay away for 2 years, 1 year, you are literally setting yourself up. So all I am saying is that don't sensationalize the videos that you see. If you have an attorney and you're concerned, speak to your attorney. Ask your attorney, some questions, but don't just fall for these videos. They are not entirely accurate. You have to reason through, analyze the stories that you hear, and then the videos that you watch. Someone says, hi. You have to. So I've told my clients that I don't want them to be the next viral story. So I have a client who is traveling. See, I even have a client there was another video that my client sent to me. She was traveling. She's afraid because someone traveled with a travel permit, and the person was unable to, CBP did not allow the person come back into the country. And then my client calls me and she says, I can't travel. And this is like an elderly woman. It hits different when your colleague is like someone, your age mate is crying to you, right? It hits completely different when the person is as old as your mom. So this woman is here crying. I want to travel. I want to go and do this, and I cannot. So she went on and on and on and on. And I'm like, so this person that you know, so this person did nothing wrong. And this woman said, no, the person did nothing wrong. And I'm like, okay. I checked on this person, and the person has a criminal record. So there's always an underlying factor. There's always an underlying factor. So please don't sensationalize the videos that you see on TikTok. Sometimes they're just for content. You have to be analytical. If you have any questions, contact an attorney. It is extremely important the attorney you work with. It's extremely important the attorney you work with. The attorney you retain. I cannot say this, especially in these times. I won't instill fear because I want your money. I won't instill fear in you because I want you to retain me. No. So think through the videos that you watch. Don't fall for everything. There's always an underlying factor. Okay? I hope you found the session helpful. I told you this is where the party is. We are going to tell you what it is, but we also empower you. Make sure that you have the legal knowledge to be able to. Another thing that I forgot. Let me say this before I forget. Know your immigration story. So if you're coming to the US, classic example. There's a lady that got the F1 visa from Ghana. She got to JFK and they won't let her in. So it was her brother that called me and said they won't let my sister in. She's literally being sent back. And so I asked this guy questions upon questions, and the lady couldn't answer basic questions. So if you've been able to attend interview to get a visa, how do you get to CBP? And you're being questioned, which school are you going to? Which state? You're already in New York. You've made it that far. So know your immigration story, because long after you have the visa, you receive a visa or you're issued a visa, you're going to get to CBP and you're also going to be questioned. You should be able to know your immigration story. What are you going to do what are you coming to do here? If you are on an F1 visa, and then you say, I'm coming to visit my sister, you're basically saying, I'm on a B1, B2. I won't let you in. If I were the CBP officer, I won't let you in. I will bounce. I'll tell you to go back home. So know your immigration story. Be able to articulate yourself. And it's not difficult. What is the purpose? What are you doing here? What are you coming to do here? Which state are you going? Oh, you're a student. What are you going to study? What are you going to study? What is your plan after school? These are basic questions you should be able to answer. These are basic questions you should be able to answer. And so if I'm a CBP officer and you're issued a visa B1, B2, you make it all the way to Atlanta, my home. And I ask you, where are you going to reside? Sometimes it's in how you even answer your question. So you don't know the address offhand. Can you simply say, I am going to reside with my sister, whose address is in my phone? May I pull it out for you? How about that? Versus, I'm not sure. I'll let you go back. I'll let you go back. I had the opportunity at a point in my career before I started my private practice. I did some work with the State Department in the federal space, in the State Department, and I had the opportunity of sitting in one of their trainings for the consular officers. And they're basically telling them, you have a few seconds to a minute to make a decision whether or not you're going to grant an entry or issue a visa. And they are not only listening to you, they're also looking at you. They're looking at your body language, your body gesture. Are you confident? I've heard crazy stories. I've heard crazy stories about people that simply cannot articulate themselves. If I were an officer, I won't let you in. Even if you're Ghanaian, I'm Ghanaian, but I won't let you in. Because if you're coming to school, you should be able to, who is sponsoring your, who is sponsoring you for school? And you're like, what? Go back home. Go back home. You should be able to, it's extremely important. Know your immigration story. Know the purpose for your trip. Who is sponsoring your trip? If you're a student, which school are you going to? How long is school? Do you have plans of, going through with your OPT? What courses are you going to take? Sometimes you don't have an answer, really, truly. But it's how you articulate yourself. It's how you approach the question. It's how you answer it. So hopefully you have found this session helpful. If you know anyone that is trying to get to the US, tell them that they should know their immigration story. They should know where they're going. If you don't know the address, that's fine. But you should be able to reference, tell the officer you have it in your phone. So who is picking you? My sister. How about my sister is picking me? She's waiting for me outside. My sister is so and so. Mention their names. Keep it moving. These officers are not your friends. So even after you've received the approval, you've received a visa, it doesn't mean you're going to come in. It doesn't mean you're going to be admitted. It is what it is. The laws are there. I understand if you followed the executive orders, there's one that says scrutiny, right? I can't remember the word, but basically the screening and the scrutiny level is high, it's heightened. And it cuts across everywhere. So it's extremely important that you know your immigration story. Keep it simple, keep it going. Please, social media, your ideologies, okay? Yeah, it's fine. We all have opinions. I have tons of them. You should hear my conversation with my mom. I have tons of them, but I'm not going to dish them out on social media. So you want to be mindful what you say, who you say it to, or where you post it. Let me share a story with you. This is my story. I attended an interview many years ago when I worked with the federal government. And in 2013, I can't remember, but I think it was 2013 or 2014, there was an incident that happened in Ghana that made the news. And I'm not going to, I mean, it's public record, but I'm still not going to say their names. It was a certain man, respectable man, who at the time was an MC. I don't know whether he's still an MC. Fine gentleman. He used to live in London, in the UK. And there was an incident about him and, getting involved with a lady. And so I remember that when the news broke at the time, I did a whole write-up on it. And then I sent it to Chris Vincent has, is it GhanaCelebrities.com or Ghana something? I did a whole write-up on it. And then it was published. I'm telling you some of my opinions on things and how it affected me. So this is my story. And so I did a whole write-up and it was published. And here am I years later in the federal space attending an interview. And this particular one was for the office of the president. And I was asked about my opinion on that subject matter. So I'll give you an example. Let's say the case was like a certain crime. And I was asked about my opinion about that particular crime. And this is how I answered the question. I said that, oh, as of today, this is my opinion. I told them my opinion. But I remember commenting on a similar subject matter about 8 years ago. And at the time, this was the opinion that I shared. So I told them the opinion that I shared, and I explained to them the angle that I took that opinion. And it wasn't on legal basis. At the time, I was not a lawyer. And so I didn't think I wanted to speak to the law at the time. And so I took that story from the moral standpoint. And fast forward, I'm out of law school. And here am I in the federal space being asked a question about my opinion, something that I had already put out there. And many years later, my opinion had changed. And this time, I gave them my opinion on the basis of the law, which was a sharp contrast to what I said many years ago. And so I'm saying this, and well, I still got the job, but I think it was just because of how I articulated myself and my opinion. So I'm saying this to say that the things we post on social media, our ideologies, our opinions, the extreme ideologies, they come back to harm you. They do. And so I remember walking out of that interview and then calling my mom. And I ended up calling the guy that published it, and I said, please take it down. And so whatever you post on social media today, your opinions may change as you grow, as you learn, as you become better. But hopefully those opinions that you publish at the time, you'll be able to justify them and they don't harm you in any way. So this is a non-legal advice. Make sure that whatever you're posting on social media, many years down the line, you will be able to justify why you made those posts or you shared that opinion. Hopefully. And hopefully the stakes are not that high, because if the stakes are really high, those opinions may come back to harm you in a way that you may not recover. That's a non-legal advice. So make sure that you're not the next viral story as far as immigration is concerned. Make sure that you are not the next viral story. Speak to an attorney before you travel. If you have any underlying situation like a removal order, any criminal record, it's not a good time to travel. And don't speak to your attorney after you have traveled. I tell my clients that don't call me after you have traveled, because chances are if you travel and you're calling me, then you're in trouble. Let me know before you travel. Let us assess your case, and then permit me, because of the times we find ourselves, permits me to tell you whether or not to travel. I am yet to see a client of mine, particularly a client of mine who has traveled with the the advanced parole or the travel permit and not able to come back. There's another viral story like that. And apparently this person had a criminal record. And so, yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this session. I hope you've learned a thing or two. So I'm going to take some questions now. And the answers that I provide to you, like I said, are not legal advice. Okay? They are not legal advice. So if you need legal advice, please give my office a call, 703-705-9905. Please don't give my office a call now or after this session. After this session, I'm going home. So I won't pick your call, but please call me on Monday. We'll be here to answer your calls, okay? All right, so I'm going to take some questions. Let me know what your takeaway is from this session. Hopefully you learned a thing or two. If you did, Please share what you. Oh, someone says, which country are you residing? Hey, Derek Opon Asamoah, you are so weird. I am in the United States, okay? And I'm in the office right now in Virginia. I hope I've answered your question. Which country, pa? Hey, okay. Someone says you're pretty and you talk so well. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Lawyer, God bless you. Today I want to misbehave. Don't misbehave. 100% composure. Please don't. Okay, so someone says, how do you answer what you will do or what you'll be doing after school as an F1 visa holder? Let me give you an answer. Let me give you a very nice way to put it. So if an officer asks you what you want to do, you can let the officer know that, well, I know that after school, I would be able to enroll in an OPT program. I hope to get an employer that would allow me gain some experience in his or her organization. Now, in event that I am unable to find one, I'm happy to go back to my home country. There are lots of opportunities there. With the knowledge that I have acquired with my program here in the United States, I'm going to be valuable to my country. How about that? Think about that for a second. And I didn't prep to give you an answer. People don't listen. People don't listen. Someone is calling. How about that? So that's a very nice way to answer a question. So you don't have to know everything, but you should be able to articulate yourself in answering the question. So Miss Maya, I hope I have answered your question. I hope I've given you something to think about. Okay. Hey, someone says you're very gorgeous, by the way. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so someone is asking, what do you have to say about international students who work without authorization? Listen, as an international student on F1, you are restricted to the number of hours that you must work. When you engage in work, and I've seen lots of international students do this, Uber, DoorDash, there's another one, Uber Eats, and then there's another one that I can remember. You're engaging in unauthorized work. And that alone can bar you from ever getting a green card. That is, if your long-term goal is to remain in this country. And so don't do it. I understand what it means to be an international student. Even international students, anyway, I understand what it means to be an international student and then the stress and then the hustle and the financial crisis that comes with it. I totally do. This week, I had a consultation with an international student. I said to him, and I tell all my clients, what is the long-term goal? What do you want to, what is your goal as far as being if your goal is to remain here as a legal permanent resident, subsequently to become a US citizen, then you don't want to do anything that would ruin that long-term goal or anything that is going to be a block for that long-term goal to happen. And so if you engage in unauthorized work, your long-term goal of being a green card holder may not happen. So you always want to have the end in sight. You always want to keep that in mind. You always want to keep that in mind. So that's Erica, that's my response. If you are an international student here or you know anyone who is engaging in unauthorized work, tell them to stop. Recently, many years ago, it was difficult for a federal agency to access the database of another federal agency. Classic example, like IRS or USCIS accessing the database of IRS. Now, as of last week, they are almost concluding an agreement to access IRS's database. You know what that means? If you have worked, if you have engaged in unauthorized work, forget it. Whatever your social security does, they know, because your employer, and this goes to the international student, don't think that because you're doing DoorDash or because you are doing Uber Eats or Uber or anything like that, it is your employer, although it's a contract or you're working as a contractor, it's still being reported. They're still filing taxes on you. They're still reporting your social security as working. I'm not even going to scare you, but this week I told a prospective client that he should stop working because he's an international student and then he's doing some work. And he's so smart. He said, yes, I'm going to stop now. Those are the clients that I like. He said, I didn't know, I'm going to stop now. So if you're an international student and you engage in unauthorized work, I don't know what your long-term goal is, but it may not even happen. So you want to have that at the back of your mind. Okay. All right. Okay. Someone is asking about the NIW. The person says that I have an MBA. Can I apply for the NIW? So the National Interest Waiver NIW, the basic eligibility requirement is to have a bachelor's plus 5 years of progressive work experience. That's the basic requirement, but there's more. So while having an MBA it sounds good, we'll have to determine your eligibility. It's not enough that you have an MBA. We need to make sure that you are a strong applicant for the EB2 NIW. And so this is what you should do. This is what I would encourage you to do. I'm sorry, the phone keeps going off. I thought I muted it. That's what I'm going to encourage you to do. That you send your CV. I want you to pick our emails, which is somewhere, but it's info, info at ablegalconsults.com, info@ablegalconsults.com, and then send your CV, not a resume, not a summarized one, a very detailed one. Send it to our email. We are going to evaluate it, and if you are an eligible candidate, you'll receive an email with a link to schedule a paid consultation for us to discuss your eligibility, the process, the fees, timeline, and answer all your questions as far as the NIW is concerned. So yeah. Okay. All right. Okay, guys, it's 6. We've done like an hour and 18 minutes. I'm sorry I won't be able to take any more questions, but if you need assistance with your immigration work, by all means, please give my office a call at 703-705-9905. We have a WhatsApp group platforms, and it's all over there. It's on our social media page. So please, I think you should. I answer the questions myself. I've asked my team members that, listen, even if I'm busy, just let them know that I'm going to respond to them. I answer all the legal questions myself. None of my team members do that. And so I may not answer immediately, but I promise you I'm going to answer eventually. And so please make sure that you join that WhatsApp group page, and also follow our social media pages, AB Legal Consult on Facebook, AB Legal Consult on LinkedIn, AB Legal Consult on Instagram, and TikTok, where the party almost always happen, is the Immigrant Attorney. So I want you to follow our social media. Someone just gave me like, TikTok is so cool. They keep giving me stuff. Someone just gave me like a whole cap on my head. Thank you. You're very generous. I do appreciate you for that. Thank you. So I want you to follow our social media pages. This year we have exciting things coming up. We are going to announce them at the right time. But please keep your eye on our social media pages. And yeah, if you need an immigration attorney to help you with your immigration case, listen, all hope is not lost. Even for those that came through the border, I have a client that came through the border. We applied for the I-130 for him last year. He has received an approval, and please Harry, I'll get to you. I just saw something that's so funny. Um, we have a client who came in through the border, and we applied. So he's here, he got married, he has kids here in the United States. So we filed the I-130 for him. We got an approval for him. The sad thing is that his wife also came through the border. I don't know how two border people fall in love, but they gave birth to US citizens. And one of them is 22. And so the child actually filed for them. So we've secured the approval for them for the I-130. And listen, we filed a waiver for them because I'm sure you know by now that if you came through the border, chances are, not chances are, I take that back. If you came through the border, you have violated an immigration law. And so technically, you don't have to be here. You must do it the right way. And doing it the right way means that you have to exit the country and come back in. And so I'm saying this to say that all hope is not lost, no matter how you came in. But if you came in on a K1 and you didn't get married to the person that you came, who filed the K1 for you, please, even if you've put yourself on a dating market and you're falling in love with someone else, you have to exit the country and come back in. I'm saying this to say that all hope is not lost. No matter how you came into the country, no matter what, there's always a way around it. There's always a way around it. And if there's no way around it, we will tell you that at this point, there's no way around it. Do what you have to do. And the day you pack your bags and then you go back home, you cannot come into the country again. But I'm sure by the time that you are making that decision, you probably would have done so much for yourself that when you exit the country, you won't look back in regret. You would look back and know that, you know what, I have probably built my house. I'm going to have a form of comfort in my home. And so, I mean, my home country, and I am fine. So I'm saying this to say that all hope is not lost. I know there's so much going on. And I think I said this when we started the live stream that my team and I are not going to be part of the attorneys that would, we're not going to join the bandwagon of attorneys that are going to instill so much fear without giving you a way out. We are going to keep you informed, but we're also going to empower you at the same time so that we are not dumping things on you without giving you a solution to whatever the problem is. And so if you follow our pages, I'm sure you know that by now, that listen, all hope is not lost. If everything else fails, marriage-based green card is going nowhere. If everything else fails, marriage-based green card is going nowhere. But make sure that you are able to prove that your marriage is bona fide. You didn't enter into the marriage for the sole purpose of immigration benefits. Evidence, 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 evidence. Immigration, I love it. It's evidence-based. It's evidence-based. And so you want to think about your evidence, the evidence you're able to put together. And in case you are invited to attend an interview, you should be able to answer your questions really well. And so it's important that you retain the services of an attorney that has the lived experience. It's not enough. I've had so many people call my office after they've worked with people, other attorneys that, and I'm not going to discredit any attorney's work because I think clients are very interesting people. So I am not going to discredit any attorney's work. That's not my style. But I've seen people work with attorneys who, you see, it's different if one, you're an immigrant. Number two, you have the lived experience as an immigrant. You know the law because you have attended law school and you are barred. You are licensed. to practice the law. This combination is out of the world. Because if you're working with someone who has the lived experience, chances are where you are treading, the person has moved past there already. So they truly, truly understand. And I do. I absolutely do. One day I'll tell my immigration story. Maybe I'll be the next viral story when I tell my immigration story. I probably will be the next viral story. Anyway, guys, it's always a pleasure to be here. Listen, I love these sessions because I get to empower you. I get to spend time with you after having a long week. It's always nice to share what's going on in immigration and all that. So it's always a pleasure to be here. Someone is asking, do you take cases? I take cases. Well, we take cases. AB Legal Consult. We take cases across all 50 states. Okay, all 50 states. And our number. Someone is asking our number. Our number is 703-705-9905. And so, listen, guys. It's been a pleasure being here. I love these sessions because we get to interact. I get to know where you're watching me from. And then I get to, calm you down that all hope is not lost. And so there's always a way around it. Oh, the number, you want me to type it? The number again, please take it down, 703-705-9905. Listen, all hope is not lost. So the law works and there's always a way around. So take care of yourself, enjoy your weekend. I intend to enjoy my weekend, so I hope you enjoy your weekend as well. Stay well, stay safe. Make sure that you're working with an attorney that can, that represents your best interest. And if you are an enforcement priority, I cannot say this enough. Please, 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 please be safe. Make sure that you update your contact list. Let them know. Immigrants will never tell you when they're traveling. Even when they're putting their stuff together, they won't tell you, which is fine. But when you retain an attorney, the attorney cannot disclose to anybody whatever you discuss with the attorney. So even if you don't trust your family, you can trust your attorney. Okay? So guys, it's a pleasure being here. I enjoy these sessions. I can stay here until tomorrow, but I hope you enjoy your weekend and I look forward to seeing you next week, Friday. If there's any particular topic that you want us to talk about, if there's any topic that you want to hear me talk about, please feel free to send it to our DMs. Our DM is what? Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn. If there's any particular topic, please, please, please feel free to share. And I would prepare. For these sessions, I prepare like I'm going to sit for the bar exam. And so I would prepare and then come do justice to it. Enjoy your weekend. Stay well. Stay safe. Thank you for joining. Good night.